Well, is it possible to celebrate Thanksgiving without football and turkey? Is it possible to celebrate Christmas without Santa Claus and gifts? Today, we're going to find out in many parts if it's possible to celebrate the 4th of July without huge barbecues and fireworks. In other words, when you strip away all the accidentals, what are you left with? Corona time, racial tension, the specific moment that we live in our church, all call to that question. They ask that question. They beckon the question. What is essential? Is it possible to celebrate the 4th of July without seeing fireworks? Can you still recognize that this country was blessed with independence despite not having a typical barbecue? I mean, my cousin, he's a baseball player. What more American thing could it possibly be is, seeing the baseball uniforms and stars and stripes? And I remember one time he played in Wrigley Field, like one of the iconic baseball fields in our country. Can you still celebrate the 4th of July without all these externals? To me, the gospel gives us a tremendous insight to what is truly missing from our dialogue today, from our country today, and even, I would say, our church. And it's what's essential. What is the difference if John the Baptist's disciples and the Pharisees are fasting and these other disciples are not? That's the question they put to Jesus. And the answer is the same answer to the questions we just asked. Jesus Christ. He is what's essential. He is what makes freedom. He is what makes Thanksgiving possible, and He is the center of Christmas. And when we lose the center and what's essential, then everything else becomes chaos and violence, and there's fair game of everything. Because He knows that even the Old Testament only makes sense if He was coming. And all these human laws and these human expectations never can be met. No leader is perfect and worthy of being put on a pedestal as to be an idolater type of thing, other than Jesus Christ. And so in our heart of hearts, everybody is craving. And you tear down statues. Why? Because this particular historical figure is not Jesus Christ, did not meet all the criteria that a particular person in a mob or some well-thought-out human being would want. And so those who were around this time of Jesus were scandalized. Why are they not fasting? Why? Because Jesus Christ is the fulfillment. He reveals to human beings how to be human. He changes, transforms, transfigures. All the rules change around Him. Everything is centered on Him. A dialogue in our country today from us Catholics needs to put Jesus Christ in the center. And that's what we lack. We lack the courage as Catholics to preach Jesus Christ, to know Jesus Christ, and to allow the grace of Christ to fill us up so much that we can't even think about Thanksgiving. We can't even think about the 4th of July. We can't think about Christmas without Jesus Christ. And the essence of our Catholic Church is truly experienced through the Eucharistic presence of Jesus. He said He's not going to leave us. And He took that seriously. And He today wants to Eucharize us. Why are our churches, why are our people, why are so many fearful to allow Jesus Christ to reign in our hearts and to transform little laws like fasting, little things that we do, all the little details? And the reason is also in this scripture hidden. And perhaps, I know for years I missed it until I started to read Brant Petrie, who woke me up to a book about Jesus, the bridegroom. John Bergsma, I think Scott Hahn, and a bunch of the scholars, which I'm sure the fathers of the church and many saints would have talked about this. I know Fulton Sheen was in on this too. Jesus answers this question of why aren't we fasting? And He goes, can the wedding guests mourn as long as the bridegroom is with them? And then he insists, the days will come when the bridegroom is taken away from them. Who is he talking about? Who's the bridegroom that's going to be taken away? It's Jesus. Well, today, in just a couple hours, I'm going to have the grace of doing a wedding for dear Deacon Tom Lopez's daughter, Caitlin, as she marries Charlie, or Carlos. His family's from Cuba. And I could go on for a long time about how the Latinos do weddings. They're beautiful. But at any rate, how can you have a bridegroom if you don't have a bride? Who is Jesus' bride? Who did he come down to sacrifice? And when was the wedding? Jesus' bride is his church. The wedding was on Calvary. And the consummation of that marriage is when he poured forth by being pierced the life-giving seed of his blood and water. And so we are loved by Jesus as a bridegroom loves his bride. Do we truly love Jesus the way he loves us? Do we look at our church as the spouse of Jesus Christ? Our nation, our cities, our families, we are all craving a love that only Jesus Christ can supply to us. And it's not found in singing Born in the USA, which if you ever look at the lyrics, it's everything but a pro-American song by Bruce Springsteen. It's not even about having, although I love hot dogs, and it's not even about the fireworks, although they're cool. Last night, I was in a little chapel that looked over the Allegheny River and was doing a holy hour there. And all of a sudden I think I was falling asleep, to be honest. I don't know. I'd like to think it was a mystical experience. I was like in seventh heaven with Jesus or something, but I think I fell asleep. And all of a sudden, boom, fireworks were coming right out the window. And I'm like, oh man. And that's where I started to think about this. It's like, okay, what if there weren't fireworks? Could I still celebrate Independence Day? Yeah, because real Independence Day is when Jesus Christ decided to marry humanity and allow his church to be his bride. So, sorry to extend myself. I know I've gone beyond my allotted time that my people say to do a homily. But maybe Jesus is right. And we haven't taken it into account enough. Because he then says, the days will come when the bridegroom is taken away, then they will fast. And perhaps this is the key to bring Jesus' love to our humanity. In the conversion of hearts, be open to Jesus' love. And that's that his faithful, his followers, fast. Maybe we need to be the ones today to fast from alcohol, to fast from pornography, to fast from those sins that are in our lives, to fast from criticizing, to fast from being, well, this bishop isn't perfect enough, so I'm going to tear him down in a party, or this person isn't perfect enough, so maybe we need to fast from just criticizing the heck out of everybody, or fast from this polarizing political world, or just simply fast from the use of internet too much. Perhaps there's something in our lives that we can fast from so as to be closer to Jesus Christ.